Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for coming to my channel. So the stage is beautiful. The decor, the theatricality, everything you would want in a stage. If only the actors weren't so shy. It's like my fish have stage fright and they don't want to come out onto this glorious center stage. And I've tried various things in order to encourage them out. Obviously, they come out for food. There's really quite a bit of fish in here, different species. Big school of neon, green neon tetras, red Bexford pencilfish, and gold tetras. And obviously, those white long fin Coreodoras, they are not shy. Which is funny because Coreodoras are known to be shy, but these ones certainly are not. They're always front and center on the stage, almost like the staff cleaning up confetti after a Taylor Swift concert. They're just always out mopping up after the concert. So as we film, you're starting to get a sense of all the glorious fish that are in this tank. And they are glorious, and I love them to death. Some of my favorite schooling tetras, the underrated gold tetra or brass tetra, and green neons are such a delightful species, a little bit smaller than the neon tetra, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I like the selection I have. I just wish they would be more brave. Clearly, the light has something to do with this. So I know, and I don't, you can comment and support this opinion, but I know if I dial down the light, the fish would be more apt to come out. But then I wouldn't get this crazy, glorious plant growth the way I do now. And I'm so pleased with the Aquascape. You see the Dragonstone centerpiece, one glorious, forgive me, I tend to use an adjective too much once it's in my head, but this is a Crypticorn balancea, very elegant, probably the most elegant crypt there is. Pogostemon octopus, Rotala hra, the red plant, and then Lemonphilia sessiflora, which grows literally an inch a day, if not more. I'm constantly clipping and giving away or bringing clippings of all these plants to my LFS, and they're so popular, they're so healthy. The LFS owners are taking them from me and often giving me store credit or a trade. Up here in this little fun bowl, I have some more of the hra. It's showing a more bronze color for whatever reason, but as it goes up to the light, it will get that crimson red. At least it has in the past. I just clipped it down though a little bit. And then the carpet of dwarf sag, hairgrass, and yes, some moss and algae. I'm going to take tweezers and literally pull this mossified algae or algified moss out, right? I'm just gonna pull it out, it'll come right out. But from over a foot or more, it just looks great anyway. And then I have Bucephalandra and Anubias rounding around the Dragonstone. So one of the things I'm doing that is not toning down the light is I'm raising the temperature. So the heater in this tank, while it was legitimately at capacity for a 20-gallon aquarium, I couldn't get a temperature to get much over 76.6, and ideally I'd have 78 or 79 for these tetras. And I have a feeling they would be more rambunctious if the heat was higher. They'd have more energy. I'm almost positive that will be a result if I can just bump the degrees a couple. I could not do that with the heater that was in there, so I purchased a new one, and I just put it in this morning, and I let it adjust to the water before I started fiddling with the thermostat on it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have a 78, 79 degree tank and more active tetras tooling about in there. It's not to say that the cooler temperature was unhealthy, although it can cause things like ick to occur. Tetras like 78 plus, most of them, not all, but these do. And once you get that sort of disease in your tank, it can be a real pain in the neck, and it can spread like wildfire. So cooler temperatures always kind of bugged me a little bit, and I kept thinking if I moved the heater that I had or fiddled with it some, it would work better, but it never did. I could never get over 76. So I'm thinking at 78, 79 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to have a more healthy tank in general, and perhaps see these glorious fish better. I mean, look at that. Look at the combination of gold tetras and green neons. Just fantastic, and I want them to be more front and center. I mean, look at the shimmer on that gold tetra. The interesting thing about gold tetras is the gold shimmer is actually a internal biological reaction to a specific agent in the wild, and it creates a dusting on its skin to protect itself from the biological agent. I'm using the word agent as a surrogate for the correct term, and that shows those little specks of gold as a very pronounced golden hue. I'm getting that here, but in an aquarium setting, it's not necessary for the fish to protect itself from that pathogen. So often when you buy store-bought gold tetras, they're more brass colored, which is beautiful too. But look at that. Can you see the one I'm looking at? Look at that. It's like metal. It's like a coin. Truly fantastic in its own understated way. But that's just a fun little lesson on gold tetras. Very specific attribute of that fish. Other fish that I'm aware of don't really have that kind of biological coloring issue. But it's a moot point if they're all in the back in that great dense plant growth. I know they're happy back there, but it's a moot point, the color morph, if I'm not seeing them with any regularity. So my hope is that raising the temperature, and I'm not going to dim down the lights at this point, but if you have any other ideas on things I can do, I already rearranged the scape to make less wood, less places to hide in the back, but Mother Nature and the plants obviously have at certain point more say in what's going on than I do. But there's really only that one piece of dragonstone in terms of hardscape, and the rest is all plant life. So when people say to me, where are the fish? I'm very proud of the plant growth and the aquascape, the jungle or nature style. And I mean, I stress to people that come in and out of the room here, it is about the plants as much as the fish. And I've said this a bunch of times, in the saltwater hobby, it becomes so much about the corals versus the fish. And in freshwater systems, for a lot of us, the plant growth becomes paramount, as important, if not more important, than the actual fish. Now, it kind of goes without saying that there's an intense symbiotic relationship between plant and animal. So if you're really tending to the plant growth and maintaining that correctly, you should have no problems with your fish. Matter of fact, quite the opposite would be true. However, I've outlined what I find to be, a contradictory fact, which is the highlight, which promotes this fabulous plant growth, is probably keeping some of these shyer tetras in the shade some. I thought, that rearranging the scape and also removing the one pseudo-predatory animal that was in here. I had a honey gourami, hardly a threat really, but it's not in here anymore. But still, they remain somewhat reclusive. Now if I threw some baby brine shrimp in here, which I'll do later after filming, I will get a feeding frenzy, but I want to see them just schooling and shoaling without having to do that for obvious reasons. But so it's a high class problem, and it's one that I know is not harming the fish, but I'm really curious to see what a couple extra degrees temperature will do to the sociability of these animals. All right, everybody, as always, keep your hands in the tank, and ciao for now.